Hello, and welcome back to Storytime with Melissa. You may notice that I am wearing the same clothes and I am in the same position. That is because I have recorded all the segments of this wonderful story at once. So now we return to the Goblin Adventures, Part 2. To have a brief recap of last week, here's a little summary. There's a girl from a farm. There's a boy from a city. They meet at the farmer's market. There is chemistry. Now we continue. I'm Samantha, by the way. I'm Matt, he responded, noting how pretty she was and how confident she was. He had met many girls over the years, but for some reason this girl stood out for him. He dimly noted her staring, then snapped out of his sudden trance, thinking of what a fool he was. Oh, he stuttered. So, do you live around here? Samantha asked, now becoming a bit bolder. Yes, he said, being careful not to brag and not to mention that he was wealthy. My shift's almost over, and I need a place to stay. She paused, waiting for him to speak. Well, I don't have a place to stay, but I have money for drink and a small dinner, he said, emphasizing the word small. Oh, wow, I'd love that, she exclaimed. Then, quickly trying to hide her excitement, said, I guess if you want to. Yes, he gushed, then also tried to hide his excitement. When Samantha said she had only enough money for a bowl of soup, he was surprised, for he had been picturing a gourmet dinner at the Gentle Lion restaurant. It's okay, I've been saving because... He cut himself off because he had almost said, I've been waiting for this day. Well, I don't want anything too fancy. This town is so beautiful, it would be fun even just to stop at a food cart and wander around the town. I'm sure the sunset is beautiful, she replied. Yes, he replied. It's almost sunset, and we should hurry. The hill up the road has an amazing view. In her rush to leave, Samantha tripped on a rock, but Matt gracefully caught her, and they stayed looking at each other for a few seconds before Samantha stood up and thanked him. Minutes later, she fell again. Maybe it's a sign, Matt laughed. They walked in blissful silence until a sudden gasp issued from Samantha as they rounded the top of the hill and caught sight of the sunset. It was glowing softly in deep gem tones that glittered behind Samantha's eyelids, dazzling her. Wow, Matt said. It's beautiful. Like you. Pardon? She shyly inquired. Oh, he stuttered. He stuttered. Yes, it is, she whispered, taking his hand. They were so into their intense moment that they didn't realize the bloodshot eyes peeking at them from behind a tree. As it approached, a fine mist began to swirl around the couple. The giant eyes stared into their eyes, hypnotizing them and burning into their souls. The eyes were so disgustingly beautiful they couldn't look away, but they were so intense that they almost had to. A face pushed through the fog, as terrible and captivating as its eyes. Sharp cheekbones and a pointed chin framed a full mouth devoid of expression. Thin eyebrows extended several inches too far to be human and had a pure, almost translucent glow. Hair of the same color was cropped short, angling away from the creature's face. Samantha squealed in terror as the creature babbled incoherently. It's a goblin, cried Matt. And so concludes part 2 of the Goblin Adventures. See you next week for part 3.